If you guys don't know, very special guest, very special guest. Hello, Ollie. Ginger's now joined. Yeah, Ginge. Yeah, okay, cool. I got it now. I got it. Yeah, I'm adding you in right now.
Am I in?
How you doing?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm in. You're in. You're in now. You're in.
You can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you
Okay,
hear
good,
me?
good. I can hear you. Yeah. Sorry,
Okay.
I'm in my car. And my son is
That's fine.
kicking off. He's going crazy inside. So he would just want to steal the phone. So I thought, let's get out in the car because it's a little bit quieter.
That's fine. That's fine. How's everything going? Is everything
Everything's
good?
good. Yeah, everything's good. How's things with you?
Yeah, everything's well. You know, just keeping my head down, just keep working as well. So
Good.
it's good. It's good.
Did you work out today?
Um, Actually, no, I haven't actually. I didn't actually. Just been doing uni work actually. So
Well, that's working out. That might as well.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, let's get into it. So welcome to NLA, next level Adepoju guys. Um, Stay tuned. We've got a lot more content coming on and a lot more spotlight interviews as well. Um, so it gives me great pleasure not only to introduce a friend, a mentor, and role model, but GB's team manager from 2016 to 19, one of the best up and coming coaches within the UK, and two-time Coach of the Year, Ross Norfolk. Thank you for joining us.
All right. Thank you, Mo. Thank you. Nice intro. Nice intro.
No worries, no, it's required. So for those that might not know your basketball background, can you just give a little insight into that and where did it all start for you?
Yeah, sure. So I'm from Colchester, and it started from coaching in Colchester. The club was Colchester Jammers, and that was the club that you originally played at. And that's where you
Yeah.
got started. So yeah, we started at Colchester Jammers. My kind of coaching career. I coached under Mark Lloyd, who ran the program at that time, and then when Mark moved on, I kind of took over the Colchester Jammers program. And then that's where we took on kind of an under-16 team, which was you guys,
Yeah.
um,
Fantastic.
from the sunny side of Colchester. And then we played and competed in the National League there. From then I coached at the Colchester sixth form, where you also went to.
Yeah, that's right.
So yeah, Colchester sixth form, and then from there I was starting to help Mark again at Essex Uni. So I was at Essex Uni as his assistant. From there, I then went on to coach at Seavitt College as well. We were in the ABL, and then we moved into the EABL for a season, and then now I'm coaching at the University of Essex, where Mark has moved on, and now I've kind of taken the reins of the men's program there.
Okay, that's cool. That's fantastic. That's fantastic. And so after that, these past 2 years, you've had a very successful season at Essex University, winning back-to-back Coach of the Year honors. Could you just highlight the impact of setting the right environment within the team culture?
Yeah, sure. No, culture is everything really. Getting the right culture within a program. I think coaches and players need to come together as a collective to kind of create that culture, and then ultimately culture drives people's behaviors. And then from then on, it's kind of behaviors will then, if you have the right behaviors, it will then produce the results you need. So I think if coaches and players can come together, come up with some standards as a collective, and then hopefully that will promote the right accountability, help create an identity within the program, and ultimately become a successful program from there. So yeah, definitely culture is massively important. We have at the moment we have a mentality called the Lumberjack Mentality. It's a little bit of it's a long story, but it's about basically you got to sharpen your axe before you start cutting the wood, and it's about when it's time to work, we come in and work, but when it's time to rest, we rest and sharpen your axe. And that might be in ways of eating right, drinking right, sleeping right, getting in the gym, getting shots up, that sort of stuff. So, so yeah, I think we have a pretty good culture, but it can always be developed and it can always be improved. So hopefully we can keep doing that.
That's fantastic. And you touched upon accountability within the coaching staff and within the players as well. But how do you go about setting that within the group, within the team?
I think it's really important that kind of senior players help with that. Senior players within the program, they help set that standard. For any of the young guys coming through. And like I said, we have a list of standards that we always have to try and meet. If those standards start to slip, the team will come together and try and sort that out, and then hopefully keep on with the culture that we've created.
Mm-hmm. That's fantastic. So obviously being a former player in your system as well, we also created a great relationship off the court, which contributed to the team's success. So could you just elaborate upon, the importance of coach-athlete relationships and the importance of understanding your players as well?
Yeah, no, I think relationships is such a massive part of any sports kind of program, and not just basketball. And I think if you can create a good relationship with your players, you're going to help get more out of the players, and the players are going to develop. I think ultimately a big one is trust. If you can create that trust within between the coach and the player, you'll get more out of people. I'm hoping that my players trust me, and I'm always approachable and honest, and try and create that trust that way.
Fantastic. That's fantastic. And then following from your coaching, can you give any advice to young coaches who are coming up, how to develop their coaching identity and philosophy as well?
Yeah. Well, I think the main thing is to try and be yourself. Don't try and be like, if you see a coach or you have a mentor or someone that you look up to, just obviously don't try and be them. You're your own person. You've got your own personality. Try and be yourself. Keep to your own values. Yeah, and I think it's be authentic as much as possible, because ultimately players are smart. Players will start to find out whether or not you're putting on a show or not.
Mm-hmm.
So ultimately, I think it's really important to be authentic and be yourself. And enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, a big part of developing as a coach is you've got to study and watch film and take as much as you can from different people, clinics, that sort of stuff, different games. But then ultimately, don't try and take everything, and don't try and implement everything. Try and pick the things that you like and put that in like that, because ultimately sometimes you get bogged down with so much stuff and you don't have a clear picture. So I think it's really important that you take the little nuggets that you like and put it into your program.
That's fantastic.
Or your philosophy.
Fantastic. And so if you guys don't know, on my story I posted last night, interview of Coach Ginge on Mic'd Up, which is a great interview on how Ginge implements his offensive structure within the team, and just speaking about the game in general. So in that interview, he highlighted Papa. So pass, attack, pass, attack. I got that right.
Yep.
Yeah. So could you just detail how you develop decision making amongst the team, and how to make decisions for themselves and also for the team?
Yeah. So Papa is basically our base of our offense. It's a dribble drive. It's a dribble drive thing. It's not anything new, but we use Papa as a way to kind of instill it. Pass attack, pass attack, like you said. And yeah, basically what we do is what we try and do within our practices is try and do as much against defense. So if you have defenders there, it helps with making the right decisions. And making sure those decisions are happening quickly. If you don't have any defenders there, it's very difficult to create that environment of making those right decisions at the right time. So yeah, I think a lot of the stuff that we do is 5v5 competitive as much as possible during practices. So yeah, I think that's really how it's developed and how we try and do it as much as possible. Obviously, we break down Papa a concept. But then once we've broken it down, we then try and put it into a situation where we're going 5v5 live, competitive, to try and get those right decisions and get the players used to making those right decisions.
That's great. That's great. And then then you go into detail and mic'd up on pace and space with your full guard set. Can you touch on a little bit behind the scenes about how much skill work you put into your program at the University of Essex?
Yeah, we put a lot of skill work. We do a lot of workouts and stuff like that during the week. What we try and do within our workouts, we shoot a lot, so we shoot a lot of shots. We get a lot of shots up, so it's really important that that happens during the week, so then the players are confident, ready for the weekend or for the games. But once again, it's not just shooting, just getting reps up like that. We try and do shooting against defenders, so we might do like 1v1 shooting with a bit of advantage, disadvantage, to try and create that environment. So yeah, we do a lot of shooting, but also to help create and develop skills I use an acronym called CARDS, which is creativity, awareness, resilience, decision making, and self-organization. At any time, what I want to try and do is use that. So if I'm doing any sort of practice plan, I try and use that as a base, because I want to try and challenge you in all those areas: creativity, awareness, resilience, decision making, self-organization. And if I can do that, I think we'll have a successful session, so, and that's all part of that skill development behind that.
That's fantastic. That's great.
I stole that from rugby union. Rugby union done a big thing on cards, so yeah, I used to start to use it.
No, that's fantastic. And then moving on from that, can you speak a little bit? I know you're big on the mental aspect of basketball as well. So can you speak on the mental makeup that you have towards basketball and coaching as well?
Yeah, I think the big thing is for any coaches, it's about being prepared themselves, and if you can prepare yourself before practices and games and stuff like that, it's a big part of it. And obviously then preparation goes into making sure your players are ready to go, ready to play in the games, and however you want to play in those games, whichever your scout is or whatever your game plan. So I think, yeah, preparation is massive, and that becomes part of it, part of your kind of the mental aspect of it, making sure you're right in that sense. And I think it's one of those ones, if you can stay disciplined as a coach, that will feed off into players as well. So having that discipline, that mentality to try and be ready to go at any time, that's what we need as coaches to help feed into the players.
Fantastic. That's fantastic. And going on from that, how might you pick up an individual? How might you motivate an individual? Maybe after a tough loss or something is going on behind the scenes.
I think, well, it's dependent on the individual. You got to know your players. You got to know what makes them tick. Some players will thrive on kind of not being shouted at, but kind of being there and motivating them in that way. But then some players may just want to arm around them and say, look, everything's fine, that sort of thing. So you got to know your players. A lot of the time, what I try and do is have a quick debrief. Or if we lose a game, for example, have a quick debrief. Don't go into depth too much because emotions are there. And I think once you've watched back film or looked at the stats and that sort of stuff, that's when you can really reflect on it in a more in a calmer way. And I think the joys about basketball is if you have a loss on Saturday or Sunday, normally you've got practice on the Monday, so you can go do something about it, so straight away. So yeah, I think that's a big thing. That's
fantastic. Yeah, that's real good. So transitioning into your little bit of your international experience with GB. You were a team manager with them from 2016 to 19, but also you traveled with the team at Eurobasket 2000 to 2017. So could you just explain to us what was the experience like for you?
Yeah, no, it's a massive opportunity for me to be involved in a tournament, a competition like that. I went to Eurobasket 2013 as an assistant team manager, with Mark Lloyd as the team manager. So I was his assistant, so I got to experience it there. But then Eurobasket 2017, I was the team manager, so it was different. It was definitely a jump up. And basically, my role was to make sure everything is ticking off court. As team manager, I got to make sure everyone's in the right place at the right time. Buses are booked, all those sort of things. So everything that happens off court, I had to make sure was in place and ready to go. And I guess from that experience, I learned that you have to prioritize things, and be in the moment, enjoy the moment as well. Being at a tournament like that, I think sometimes you get bogged down with a lot of stuff going on, but you've really got to enjoy that moment that you're in that kind of competition, and being at the Eurobasket, you got top players around you, NBA players, playing out of Fenerbahce's arena was unbelievable. So it was great.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And you touched on it, playing like the likes of top quality countries and players playing from like NBA, ACB. Seeing that and being in that environment, what did you learn? Did you take anything from that, or did you see any particular skill sets, or what did you learn from just being around athletes?
I think being around those athletes, I think it was obviously a massive thing, and it's you're walking down the corridor, and you've got Porzingis down there, and you got Bogdanovic and people like that, and it's about enjoying that moment and play, like being in the moment, just like we say to players, be in the moment, and I think it's important that upon reflection, I think that was a big part of what I took away from it. Obviously, being around it and just seeing the professionalism of the teams and the different the ways other programs run and stuff like that was great, and hopefully GB can eventually get up to that speed as well with different things. But I mean, it was a great experience for me because I took loads of stuff from it, loads of little things.
That's fantastic. And then that's leading on to my next question. So, you've seen a wealth of UK talent, ranging from GB camps. You've seen all the divisions up to Division 2, Division 3. You guys just got promotion to Division 1. You coached the university men's team for a number of years in the Bucks Prem. So, what do you think holds UK back from being a powerhouse in Europe?
I think it's the big thing is obviously for us within the UK, we're competing with other sports, and the media attention and that sort of stuff. So we're competing with other sports. I think what we need to do as GB basketball and basketball community and stuff is we need to focus on getting kids at a younger age involved in basketball, like under 12s and stuff like that, nice and early. So kids are starting to kind of get those experiences of playing basketball at an early age, and then hopefully engage them and keep them engaged and provide them with sustainable kind of opportunities to play and participate. There's loads of clubs across the country, but I think we need to do a lot more at trying to get more kids, like primary school children, involved in basketball and get them to love the game earlier.
Yeah, 100%.
There's loads of other things as well. I think like the basketball is a entertaining sport, it's really, really entertaining. And I think we've got to try and do a better job of showing the package of basketball. We've got there's halftime shows, entertainment, all those sort of things. And I think we need to show that to help engage more people into the sport. And hopefully that engagement will get more media attention, and go from there, really.
That's great. And then from from then onward, you guys at University of Essex and Essex Rebels, you guys have a career pathway from under 14s all the way through to the men's, and you guys have a WBBL team and a men's ABL team, academy team as well. So can you just speak on the growth of Essex Rebels and the next step for you and your coaching?
Yeah, I think the program has grown massively over the few years. From 5 years ago, like we managed to have a WBBL team. We now got a team hopefully playing in Division 1 next year. We should be, a men's team. So there are kind of 2 senior teams. Then we have an academy team, and this is just on the men's and the boys side at the moment. But we've got an academy team, and then we feed down into under 18s, under 16s, under 14s. We're looking to try and have under 12s. More kids playing at a younger age. And ultimately what we try to do is create a pathway for under 14 players. An under 14 player should be able to look at the other end of the pathway and see those players and aspire to be in their position. So we've got a really good pathway in place. I think where we're going to next is we want to try and engage more girls into the game. So we have a WBBL team. We want to get more girls, so we've got a good boys pathway, is in place. So now we've got to try and expand that and then create more opportunities for girls to play.
Fantastic. And can you just touch a little bit on the WBBL team, because what you guys building over at Essex University is fantastic. So can you touch a little bit on the WBBL team as well?
Yeah, no, the WBBL team is it's growing each year. We're trying to progress it, even more. We want to be in a hunt for a playoff spot and stuff like that. So, I think where we are right now with the WBBL, we're in a good spot. We just need to keep going on with that and keep driving it on. We've had some great players within it, within the program. So I think if we can keep those players coming through, and hopefully get some more homegrown players in, that would help.
That's fantastic. And then moving on to our last question. What do you think are important attributes for young basketball players to develop their game?
What did I always used to say to you in workouts? I used to say, work on everything. Work on everything. Work on everything. But I mean, young players, I think one of the key things is I think they've got to develop in the area of self-awareness. They've got to become self-aware of what they're good at, what they're doing every day to be better. Are they disciplined? That comes behind with self-awareness. So I think if they are self-aware, that really helps with their progress. Because I think for sometimes players are putting a load of energy into the wrong areas. If you can already dribble the ball really well, why are you trying to dribble even more? Try and work on a different area to help with your game. I'm not saying that you shouldn't work on your dribbling if you're good at it, but be self-aware and try and work on some other areas as well. Especially at young players.
100%. And then going on from that, what do you think young players should watch? Obviously, everyone watches the NBA, but in terms of people who are trying to work on the game and look at different skill sets, what do you think players should watch?
100% European basketball. If you can watch the ACB and EuroLeague and stuff like that, that really helps because young players are ultimately playing the FIBA game, at the moment. So watching that, but then obviously, like I said earlier on, with developing our basketball community, go and watch your local senior teams, because those guys are, and you can watch that face to face and you can see those details. And I think it's really important that you go and support your local team and you can go and see it in real life, But 100% watch as much European basketball as possible.
100%. That's fantastic. So now moving over to the Q&A section from the audience. So one person asked, is the trial still on for University of Essex?
Are the trials?
Yeah.
They will be once we know what's going on. It's very difficult at the moment with getting the dates and stuff out there because we still don't know when we can get back into the arena, and we don't know when the season's starting and everything like that. So at the moment, it's still on hold until we get some more information about when everything can start again.
And then moving on. one person asked, what skills do you think separates the best players at university level and the best players in the UK?
University, as in,
Yeah, probably
but
Bucks.
what separates what from like a second team to a first team?
I think this person's talking about top level, top tier Prem
Bucks
players.
Prem, Bucks
Yeah.
Prem. Yeah, I think it's the big thing is kind of basketball IQ is a massive one. You know, when we're playing Bucks Prem, it's there's a lot of kind of details that goes into it because we're playing against a lot of very, very good players and good coaches. So I think is having that basketball IQ behind you really, really helps. And I think that is one of the biggest things that separates. You know, we've got a lot of good players. You know, within university programs, good athletes. You know, people that can do a lot of good things, but ultimately, are they able to put those things into play during games? You know, and that comes with basketball IQ.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic. And then going down to the quick fire section. So best player you've played against.
Best player I've played against. Tom Sadler.
That's fantastic. Best player you've coached against.
Best player I've coached against. Probably Brandon Pill.
Okay, from the London Lions.
From the London Lions, yeah, in the UEL, yeah, he was very good.
Cool. Favorite place to coach at?
Favorite place to coach at?
Yeah, or favorite place to play at, or something like that.
Definitely our arena.
Yeah,
definitely our arena. Yeah, or Monkwick. You know, Monkwick backs that up. You know.
Yes, 100%, 100%. And best GB player right now?
Best GB player right now? Ooh. Tough. Very difficult. Probably Ovi.
Yeah, Ovi, you go.
Yeah, or Miles Hessen.
100%. And so Big Dog or Tahir? Yeah, I don't know if I said that right.
Tahir, yeah.
Yeah, Big Dog or Tahir?
Oh, okay. It's got to be Big Dog all day.
Yeah, 100%.
Sorry to hear, but yeah, it's Big Dog.
And then lastly, your pick to win an NBA championship this year.
NBA championship, probably. I've put Lakers, but I think outside chance Boston.
Okay, yeah, I knew you guys say Boston.
Outside chance, but Lakers are strong, you know. But I mean, outside chance Boston.
Cool, that's fantastic. And then one last question, because I know I have your one-to-one talk right here. So how do you think players should approach the off season, especially in this time? This is a pandemic. What do you think players should be doing right now?
Well, obviously there's limited things that you can do, you know, and working on your game and stuff like that. So I think a big one is watch as much film as possible. You know, watch games and watch people, and watch people that play a similar position to you. You know, but don't just watch highlights. You know, watch them in game. If you can watch full games and stuff like that, I've been watching a load of the World Cup. You know, 2019 World Cup. Watch a load of that. Watch the players in that. You know, watch the details and which they play at and the different things that they do. You know, not just the highlights. So I think, watch film, and when you can get on court and when you can do things, make sure you have a plan prior. You know, because it's very difficult. You know, you're gonna have a limited time, so have a good plan in place to go and do whatever you want to do on court.
Cool. That's fantastic. Ginge, I want to say thank you for your time.
No problem, Mo. Anytime, Mo. Anytime.
Yeah. Thank you for coming on.
No worries.
So this is a two-time Coach of the Year, one of the best up-and-coming coaches within the UK. So we just want to thank Ginge for coming on, and we wish you success in the future.
No problem, man. No, you too. Hopefully you can get back to, once you finish at Worcester, you come back to playing with us at Essex and in Colchester.
Yeah, 100%.
All right, man. Sounds good.
Cool.
Speak soon.
Thanks, Ginge.
All right.
Appreciate it.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Cool. So that was episode 6 of NLA. So thank you guys for joining and watching this episode. I want to say the previous episode of Darrell will be uploaded to YouTube as well, and so with this one as well. So thank you. Stay tuned for more content, and thank you very much for joining. Stay safe.